Hello and welcome back to the React to This podcast. I'm Marlena Shibo. Governor Phil Murphy of New Jersey has just signed into law the Freedom to Read Act, which prohibits libraries and schools from removing books from shelves that they think are inappropriate. Book banning was a hot topic for a couple years, with a lot of red states removing books from elementary school shelves.
This law will strengthen, not diminish, the rights of parents to choose what reading materials their children should or should not have access to, by ensuring that every family can make their own determination about what books are appropriate for a child.
It also protects librarians from any lawsuits having to do with books of a certain subject matter that minors have access to.
You're giving individuals both civil and criminal immunity from being charged or sued. To me, if this were innocent, why does someone need immunity if their actions are pure?
Because it's just their job. I mean, they're there to guide people around a library, find books, organize the library, do whatever else they do. It's almost like workman's comp, if you will, for librarians, right? You know, it's like an umbrella policy. It's not like these librarians wrote the books. They're there to run the library.
What do you tell the mother whose daughter went to the library and picked up 50 Shades of Grey and she's 6 years old? I said, look in her book bag.
I mean, if you go into a public library and you are a child, I would imagine you are with your parent. So a parent should monitor what books their child is checking out of a library. I do agree with that. I don't really take issue with public libraries that have explicit material necessarily. You can either go to the library or don't go to the library. That's up to you. What they offer shouldn't be up to you. But if you're worried about what they offer, you have the ability to stop your children from taking out books that are age inappropriate. But when it comes to schools, parents should absolutely have a say in what does and does not make the shelves in a school library. Sex education in schools is a dicey topic to some extent because some parents don't feel like this should be something that is discussed in school, and it's something that parents should discuss with their children. And that, again, that's an individual thing for parents. And with all this discussion surrounding that, public schools have provided the option to opt out of sex ed. That being the case, I don't think schools, elementary and middle, and by the way, there are schools that are K through 8th grade, I don't think schools should have books that have sexually explicit material available to students. If you are a parent who disagrees with that, then it is your responsibility to take your child to a different library or purchase those books for your child. That is your choice. That is your child. I am not here to tell you what to do, but I don't think that having books that are extremely confusing to kids that are too young to understand what they're reading, what they're looking at, I don't think there should be easy access to those materials. And I'm sure the argument is kids are on iPads and they can go on YouTube and they can, again, parents have a responsibility to monitor everything their child is seeing and hearing. I mean, there's so much access all around us now. We go through great lengths, many of us parents go through great lengths to protect our kids from what they're seeing on YouTube or social media, if they have access to social media, depending on their age, or what they're watching on TV. So why should we then send them to school, elementary school age, middle school age kids to school, where they can have free access to content in the school library that is deemed inappropriate to individual parents? So that's where the divide is for me.
There's really obscene material and graphic images contained in some of these books that I don't understand how they have any educational value whatsoever.
The one book that was talked about endlessly was titled Genderqueer. The author, Maya Kobe, identifies as non-binary, and her book talks about what some might call a coming-of-age book, where she didn't feel necessarily like a girl, didn't feel like a boy, and she walks you through her journey of, her pronouns are er and em. Maya walks you through her air journey of going through puberty and all the feelings that go along with that, and sexual exploration. It's a graphic novel. So it looks like what my generation used to call a comic. It's pictures, thought bubbles, and that's how the story is told. I've seen the pictures in this book, and it is not appropriate for elementary school kids, that is for sure, because this book is pornographic in a lot of ways. I mean, even though it's an illustration, they're not actual photographs. It's an illustration of young people doing all types of things with body parts showing, sexual acts happening. I don't want my 7-year-old having access to that. I don't want my 11-year-old having access to that. And that is not anti-LGBTQ at all, because you can teach children about the LGBTQ community and what that means. Talk about this in an age-appropriate way, the same way sex education is taught in an age-appropriate way in the schools. And again, with the option to opt out if that is what you choose. But when it comes to sexually explicit material, sex acts, that is way over the line on what kids should be able to see on their own without their parents around, unless they come up with some sort of system where they put those books aside and they have to get maybe a permission slip from their parents. I don't know. I don't really know. I think it's easier to just keep them out of the public school system. I don't know why it's necessary. The argument about genderqueer is ongoing. Nothing against Maya Kobe and her book, but it's like anything else. There's a time and there's a place for all different things. And an elementary school and a middle school that has sexually explicit material available on their bookshelves, no, it's not the place, and it's not the time in kids' lives to make a decision on whether or not they're ready to read materials like that. And they shouldn't have the rights that adults have. That's why they have parents. That's why they have guardians, whatever all the names they want to call them, caretakers, adults who take care of them. They don't have the ability to make these decisions. Again, it's up to the parents to watch everything their kids are doing, from who they're talking to, what they're watching, and what they're reading. But sexually explicit books on the shelves of libraries K through 8, I give that one a thumbs down. Nope.